Hey, what's up, everyone? Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun, as always. And as I was thinking of a topic to rant about, I had one fall into my lap, courtesy of Evil Hat Productions. Never heard of them? Well, neither have I until now. This is just another one of those woke, looks like tabletop RPG publishers who's getting some attention for being woke right now and then is quickly going to be forgotten. But what happened? So let's see. So on their official Twitter from January 17th, while developing Fate of Cthulhu, we were obligated to reflect on the problematic roots of the source material. We tackle that on page 6. The mythos is definitely worth exploring. It's also worth re-examining. Translation, they don't like H.P. Lovecraft, but they are more than happy to profit off of his works. I mean, that's such virtue, much wow. So they actually do post a picture of the book where they have an entire section for content and consent. Fate of Cthulhu is a game that deals with many hard topics, including mental health, systemic abuses of power, and the death of huge portions of the human species. Make sure all players are aware of these things and given enthusiastic consent before they begin playing. Also, Howard Phillips Lovecraft was a racist and an anti-Semite. And then they just continue their bullshit. They express nothing but hatred for the guy on whose back they are profiting. I mean, off of whose work they are profiting right now, which is just completely ironic. I mean, yeah, we don't like you, but we'll gladly profit off of you. We're fine. And then someone rightly asked, hey, I would like to see the market research on who actually reads this shit or just skips to the real content. And here's where it gets funny. This is the main topic of this rant. Is morons who consider social media likes and retweets to be the same as, potential customers, for example. Because we've seen this play out way too many times. So they respond, that sort of research is not feasible, but here are some related hard numbers. Each day this week, we have tweeted about Fate of Cthulhu. This content and consent tweet had 6 times more retweets, 3 times more impressions, and 10 times the engagement of any of the other tweets. The market is there. And they do show the numbers. And compared to all the other tweets they've made, their woke one has done by far the best. So obviously this means that pandering to the woke crowd is going to get them a lot more money, right? We've never seen it happen before that, say, a certain woke show gets talked about, gets 50,000 plus likes, thousands upon thousands of retweets. Nobody watches it and it gets canceled. That's never happened before, right? Yeah. This right here is what we need to talk about. This is natural selection in action at the business level, right here. The people who are stupid enough to legitimately believe that interactions from a Twitter outrage mob are somehow some untapped market that they could profit off of are gonna learn the hard way that getting woke makes you go broke. Newsflash, these people who are trying to push wokeness into everything aren't even interested in the things they are pushing. Not in the slightest. They have no interest in it whatever. They're just trying to destroy it. They are cultists that are trying to bend everything to their cult, and as soon as everyone bows to them, they move on. You really think they're going to stick around and give you money? Fuck no. They just want you to bend the knee to them, and as soon as you do, they're going to move to their next target. They've already forgotten about you. And meanwhile, you're sitting there bleeding money left and right, wondering why not only is this new audience not showing up, but your old audience is gone. I've ranted about this before, how these companies, they take their audience for granted. They just assume, like, oh, our hardcore fanboys, I mean, they're just blind idiot fanboys. We could take a fucking shit and stamp our logo on it, and these idiots would buy it up. I mean, they're stupid. We can kick them as much as we want, but these blind fanboys will always support us. And then they learn the hard way that that's not the case. So they've lost their original fan base. They've lost the normies who were turned off by the wokeness. They've lost the woke crowd, which they were never going to have anyway because the woke crowd never financially supports the things they claim to love. And then they're broke. But I'm sure it was all worth it. I mean, you got 10 times the engagements on your tweets when you were tweeting about woke shit. This is the type of stupid shit that I am just so glad that the free market exists, just to see these idiots get what's coming to them. If you legitimately believe that Twitter engagements are an indication of the financial success of a future project, you have another thing coming. These people can't tell the difference between legitimate fans and an outrage mob. That's the same problem that a lot of these Japanese artists have on Twitter, as I was mentioning before, where they have a habit of bending over for Western outrage mobs and apologizing and removing their artwork. And meanwhile, people like me are like, they're professional victims. Like they're professional activists. Fuck them. All they do is read. That's it. Just block or mute them and forget about them. But apparently that doesn't happen. In Japan, anyone who follows you that intently is a fan. These Japanese artists don't know that here in the West, we have a special breed of deranged lunatic that will dedicate years of their life to hating something. How mentally ill do you have to be to do that? I know people talking shit about me all the time. It's like, oh, well, look at all your rants and how mad you get in your videos, and aren't you doing the same thing? Well, no, not really. And this is how I'm going to explain it, too. So you guys get mad in real life, right? But you don't flip out because you're grown-ass adults. When I'm flipping out in one of my videos, one of my rants, all I'm doing is just removing my limiter that I normally would have in place. I'm still just as mad as I would be otherwise. I just wouldn't show it otherwise. But I'm doing it now for theatrics, for entertainment, to keep you guys entertained. That's why I'm doing it this way. Because would you rather have a guy getting passionate about something? Would you rather listen to that? Or would you rather listen to some monotone? It's fucking clear which one you'd prefer, I hope. I mean, I don't feel like going to sleep yet, so I'd rather not listen to the monotone. But these people, if they hate something, they will literally obsess about it every waking hour of every day. They dream about it at night. They spend look at Trump derangement syndrome and everyone who suffers from it. They just can't let it go. This is a mental illness here in the West. And anybody who bends over and tries to appease these mentally ill lunatics is not really going to get financially rewarded for it. And as far as I'm concerned, they get everything they deserve. Now, this is an insane move. People have been asking me before, too, if you just review these things that I know you hate or talk about this, your channel views are going to go. Yeah, my channel views may go up. If I did things like forced myself to watch Thundercats roar and talk about it, I'd probably get more views. But I fucking hate CalArts. I don't want to watch it. I don't care. I know it sucks. I don't need to subject myself to it. I mean, yeah, I know I may get an entertaining video out of it, but I'd rather spend my time watching something I like. That's how I spend my free time. I spend my free time on things I enjoy. These deranged lunatics out there spend their free time obsessing over the things they hate. And then they wonder why they're so miserable. And then they get even more miserable seeing how happy the rest of us are. And their negative feedback loop just continues. They're never going to get out of it. And this is a problem that's never going to go away as long as these idiots working at these companies keep viewing them as some potential audience to appeal to. If we correctly treated them as the nut jobs they are, and locked them in padded rooms where they belong so they could get the help they need, we wouldn't be here, to be honest with you. Now, I know how horrible the nut houses were and how all the stories about mistreating patients and all that, but maybe shutting them down has done way more harm than good. Just look at this woke plague that's scouring our culture right now, man. Sooner or later, we're going to have to do something about this. And that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for listening. In case some of you aren't aware yet, we actually have launched the Blade Devil merch shop. Link in the description box. So if you've ever wanted to support the channel but actually wanted something physical in return, we got the shop for you now. Lots of good stuff up in here. So if you would like any of those, or just in general want to support the channel, want to support original content, original products, like Diversity in Comics always used to say, then this is probably the best way to do it. So check it out. We're going to be adding new items on a monthly basis, at least in the near future. So check back often, and independent projects like the ones we're working on are only possible thanks to you guys. So appreciate all of your support.